Now I request Ambassador of Pakistan to Turkey, His Excellency Dr. Yusuf Junaid, for his remarks, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very honorable Turkish brothers and sisters, members of the Pakistani community, esteemed members of the print and electronic media, and my colleagues from the embassy, and all the people from Pakistan International Study Group, Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome to you. It gives me an immense pleasure and pride to be amongst you, and prior to saying anything else, I would like to thank all of you for gracing us with your presence. Today, as you all are aware, is Pakistan's Independence Day. Pakistan came into existence 76 years back on this very day. And I would like to delve upon the reason why we needed a separate state. Subcontinent was ruled by the Muslims for a long period, and this was followed by the British colonization of the area. This led to a process which was called colonial paranoia, in which Britishers, thinking that the Muslims were the rulers, they deprived them of the basic facilities to move forward in life. And in a process of 200 years, a subcontinent was developed where it was not equal. The Hindus were given predominance over the Muslims, and Muslims were lagging behind, both in education as well as in economic resources. This had led to a very unequal subcontinent, and the Muslims of the subcontinent felt that this will not work in their favor because it was not based on equality. So in 1906, Muslim League was founded, and after an arduous and a very strenuous struggle, which lasted over 39 years, 41 years, Pakistan came into existence. And for this, the entire credit goes to Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who not only envisaged the future, but also worked tirelessly to convert this dream into a reality. The journey from 47 till today is not a very easy one. The country, when it came into existence, was besieged with a number of issues. The infrastructure in the parts of the subcontinent which are now with Pakistan was almost non-existent. Literacy was low, finances were low, and no equitable distribution of resources was done in 47. In fact, the legacy of the Kashmir crisis was left for the new nation to face from the very beginning. Country was led by a leader who had a vision, and he moved on. Despite all the odds, despite all the pressures, he moved on. Unfortunately, death came to him at a very early stage, rather infancy of Pakistan, but still the journey continued. No matter what we say, the task was arduous. This task was coupled by the immense number of people who migrated from India, the Muslims who wanted to be in the independent Muslim land, in order to convert the two-nation theory into a reality. This added to the troubles of the new nation. We moved on. And I'm very proud to say that in these 76 years, despite the hiccups, despite so many obstacles, we have come a long way in the comity of the nations. Pakistan today proudly stands in a world where everything is not equal as a very proud nation. We have developed our resources. God has been very kind. We have been endowed with a great deal of resources. We can talk about the salt mines of Kyoda. We can talk about the coal of Thar. We can talk about the beautiful deserts. We can talk about the northern mountains. We can talk about the plains. We can talk about the Rikodik. We can talk about the copper, zinc, and gold mines. But they are all to be explored properly. And we are in the process, and I'm very sure that in the years to come, we will, inshallah, fully utilize them. This is not just the natural endowment. Pakistan was, by the grace of God, having a great deal of strength in its younger population, which has excelled not only in Pakistan, but beyond Pakistan as the diaspora spread all over the world. The scientists we have produced are remarkable. We have won Nobel Prizes. We have done tremendous work in defense production, and I'm very proud of that. We have done immense work in medicine, and Pakistani doctors are known all over the world. In academics, in literature, we cannot say that we were lacking behind. Poets like Faz, poets like Faraz, writers like Ghulam Abbas, and others are always a great name to talk about. In sports, we achieved quite a lot. Pakistan produced in Roshan Khan, Hashim Khan, and then the illustrious Jahangir and Jan Sher, great squash players. I'll be uncomfortable if I miss Qamar Zaman in this list. Though we are not the world champions anymore, but this year the great news came. Another Pakistani has, mashallah, won the junior squash championship after a very long hiatus, and I'm sure he will go a long way in this sport. In hockey, we were a dominant force till the time the rules of the game were changed, till the time modern technologies based on AstroTurf were brought in. Yet, we are there, and inshallah we will make a revival. Cricket, we had won the World Cup, and we are one of the force to reckon with, and we have produced wonderful cricketers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a day when we have to reflect how and why we came into existence, which I've just talked about, and how we have to move forward. To move forward in the Committee of Nations, there is only one way. You have to prosper, you have to develop, not only economically, but militarily. Pakistan has done wonders in terms of its defense, and by the grace of God, we are the first Muslim state which has the nuclear capability designed for peaceful purposes. Our energy sector would be very highly dependent on the nuclear energy in the coming days to come, along with the solar, and we have done great strides in that. The other aspect is the international relations. Quaid-e-Azam, in his very initial days, very clearly stated that Pakistan wants to have a peaceful and cordial relations with our neighbors and the world in general, which meant our policy, our foreign policy, will be based on equality, sovereignty, and peaceful coexistence. We have stuck to that dictum from the day one, and we still are. It will be very inappropriate, and I would be reminiscent if I miss out on a very important aspect which is associated with Pakistan, which is the illegally Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir issue. The division of the subcontinent created a kind of a ruckus from the very beginning, because the Muslim-dominated area of Kashmir was given to India, or rather was annexed forcibly by the Indians. And this resulted in an issue which went to UN. The UN security resolutions are very clear on this. The Kashmiris have a right for self-determination and to express their will through a free and fair plebiscite. This was agreed in the early parts of the negotiations done in UN, even by the Indians, but then they backstepped, leaving a huge issue which is still there in the world and is perhaps the longest unresolved issue in the history of UN. The Indian atrocities in the occupied Kashmir continued to be a kind of a blatant violation of international law, of basically UN Security Council resolutions and the Geneva Charter of Human Rights. This continued. Wars were fought. Issue is still unresolved. And this issue, which is probably one of the most difficult and I would say agonizing issue, has to be resolved, because it is not anymore an issue of land. It is now becoming a human tragedy. The indiscriminate use of brutal force, kidnapping, rapes, atrocities by the Indian forces, which now almost are to a tune of 1 billion in an area which is not capable of holding so many big forces, are countless, and they need to stop. The final act, at least till the time being, came from the Indian side 5 years back on 5th August, when they unilaterally revoked the independent or the special status of the Jammu and Kashmir and started colonizing it. It's a blatant attempt to change the demography of the entire region, to make the Hindu minority into a majority through a mass migration from the other parts of India by issuing illegal domiciles. I will not go into the number and details at this particular moment, but ladies and gentlemen, and my dear Pakistanis, and my dear Turkish brothers and sisters, we need to highlight this. We need to talk of this issue when we are celebrating our freedom, because this day reminds us what freedom means. It is our basic human right, and the Kashmiris are deprived of it. Last but not least, while taking advantage of this podium, I would like to talk a little, although I would like to talk a lot about this issue which is perhaps most dear to my heart, that is Turkey and Pakistan's brotherhood. This is a story which is like a fairy tale. Why we love each other is an issue which many people don't understand, but we love each other. There have been umpteen examples in the history, in the annals of history, starting from, not only from the Caliph movement, Khilafat movement, when the people of subcontinent, which are now predominantly in Pakistan, were coming forward to support our brothers fighting for their liberation from the Allies' forces. It even goes back way beyond. It starts with Babur. Babur was from Farhana, from Turkmenistan, and he was a Turk-speaking person. So when Babur came and was able to establish a Muslim empire in subcontinent under the name of Mughal Empire, the roots of Pak-Turk brotherhood were laid down. When you look at the cuisine, the Turkish cuisine is very similar to Pakistani cuisine. Kebab, pulao, these are common words. When you look at the word Urdu, it comes from Turkish, meaning the language of the askar. When you look at the superstitions, even they are common. When you look at the lifestyle, they are common. The only difference is probably the geographical differences, which exist because of the specific genetic makeup of that locale. Rest is all similar. The titles were conferred way before the Khilafat movement of Bey and Effendi in the parts of subcontinent like Karachi. These titles were conferred. So our relationship doesn't start with Khilafat movement, it starts way back. Then we moved on. Turkey was one of the earliest nations to recognize Pakistan and establish very cordial diplomatic relations. And a very renowned person from Turkey, Mr. Kamal Yahya, was sent to Pakistan as first ambassador, and he was received by Quaid-e-Azam. Turkey supported Pakistan in every possible way, be it be the wars of 65 and 71, be it be the earthquakes in Muzaffarabad, be it be the devastating floods of 2000 and last year. And Pakistan was always there for Turkey, no matter how difficult circumstances were. Whether it was the Cyprus war, whether it was the earthquake in Istanbul, and whether it was a devastating earthquake of this year, we were always there for each other. Our relations based on these strong cultural, religious, and ethnic ties transcends the boundaries of time, and we are all always thinking of each other as brothers. The latest examples were the support Turkey rendered to us in the FATF negotiations, and now when Pakistan is out of FATF and Turkey is in FATF, Pakistan is doing the same. Our cooperation in its defense is exemplary. I was just a week back in Pakistan to attend the rolling out ceremony of the 4th Corvette Millennium ship. It was a remarkable spectacle of cooperation. And I'm sure in the days to come, our cooperation will continue to foster and augment. Ladies and gentlemen, having said all this in English, now I would like to talk to my Pakistani brothers and sisters and fellows in Urdu so as to express what I want to say to them. अजीज़ अमवतों, हम सब पाकिस्तानी हैं. आप यहाँ पे हैं, आप पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. कुछ लोग एम्बेसी में हैं, कुछ स्कूल में हैं, कुछ अपने ज़ाती जॉब्स में या कारोबार में हैं. लेकिन एक चीज़ आप याद रखिए, आप अपनी ज़ाती कैपेसिटी में तो हैं ही हैं, لیکن آپ اس ملک کے سفیر ہیں. مجھے کبھی اس بات پہ کوئی بہت زیادہ فخر نہیں ہوا کہ میں سفیر ہوں، کیونکہ میری نظر میں آپ سب لوگ سفیر ہیں. میں تو ایک اسٹینڈرڈ فارمولے کے تحت ایک اسٹریٹ جیکٹ میں کام کرنے کے لیے موجود ہوں، لیکن آپ جو کہ اصل نمائندگی کرتے ہیں ملک کی، کیونکہ آپ کے اوپر کوئی قید نہیں ہے، کوئی پابندی نہیں ہے، کوئی رولز نہیں ہے، کوئی ریگولیشنز نہیں ہیں جو گورنمنٹ کی طرف سے امپوز کیے گئے ہوں. آپ کو سیلف ڈسپلن میں رہ کے خود ہی اپنے آپ کو ایک ڈسپلن آدمی یا خاتون کے طور پہ آگے چلانا ہے، کیونکہ آپ اس ملک کی نمائندگی کر رہے ہیں. ترکی ایک ایسا ملک ہے جہاں آپ کو نہ صرف پیار ملتا ہے بلکہ عزت ملتی ہے. اس میں اضافہ کیجئے، دونوں ملکوں کی ترقی میں کنٹریبیوٹ کیجئے، کیونکہ اگر آپ ترکی کی ترقی میں کنٹریبیوٹ کریں گے تو آپ یقیناً پاکستان کی ترقی میں کنٹریبیوٹ کر رہے ہوں گے، کیونکہ ترکی کی ترقی پاکستان کی ترقی ہے اور پاکستان کی ترقی ترکی کی ترقی ہے. آپ لوگوں کو رول ماڈل بننا ہوگا، آپ لوگوں کو یہ ثابت کرنا ہوگا. اور مجھے فخر ہے کہ آج تک مجھے ایسی کوئی شکایت نہیں ملی جس سے میرا سر شرمندگی سے جھکا ہو. پچھلے کچھ سالوں میں کچھ ایک دو واقعات ہوئے، لیکن وہ بھی بعد میں معلوم ہوا کہ اس میں ہم لوگ نہیں انوالو سے بہت ساری اور وجوہات تھیں جن کا میں ذکر بھی نہیں کرنا چاہتا. گزر گئی بات، ختم ہو گئی. آئندہ آپ کو ایسے لوگوں کے اوپر نظر رکھنی ہے. آپ کو دیکھنا ہے کہ ملک کا وقار، ملک کی عزت کہیں پہ بھی کمپرومائز نہ ہو. اس ملک میں آپ نے رہنا ہے، کنٹریبیوٹ کرنا ہے، اور یہ نہیں بھولنا کہ آپ پاکستانی ہیں، کیونکہ اگر پاکستان ہے تو ہم سب ہیں. آخر میں پرنسپل غالب صاحب کا بھی شکر گزار ہوں کہ میری درخواست پہ انہوں نے آج آپ لوگوں کے لیے ایک اسپیشل بچوں کا پروگرام بہت مختصر سا آرگنائز کیا ہے، جس میں یہ بچے پرفارم کریں گے اور یہ بتائیں گے کہ ہاؤ گڈ the Pakistani and the Turkish brotherhood is and how much cooperation we have with each other, because you will be seeing a performance which will be done by many Turkish children in Urdu. In the end, I would like to thank all of you for giving me this patient hearing, and I wish you all a very happy Independence Day. Pakistan, Turkiye, Dosti Zindabad. Pakistan Zindabad. Shukriya.
والله الذي لا إله إلا هو والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم.
As the nation commemorates this day, it is an opportunity to reflect on the sacrifices of the past, celebrate the achievements of the present, and envision a brighter future for our people. On this day, let us remember the sacrifices of our forefathers and pledge to uphold the values that define our great nation. Happy Independence Day. I unquote.
हमारा परचम ये प्यार